Good day, everyone. And it's Thursday. It is Thursdays in Black. And I had the privilege of speaking to a friend of mine the other day, and I share what I'm going to share with her permission. And I would want us to perhaps, if you have a similar story, to perhaps just if you're wanting to speak to someone, if you haven't yet spoken to someone, if you still wanting to deal with what it is that you have experienced before, please send me a message so that maybe we can assist. I can refer you to someone to assist you to work through the traumas that is undeniable, that some of our women and girls have experienced over the years. For some it goes back 30, 40, 50 years, and for others it might have been last week. So here goes. A friend of mine at the following ages, age of 5, 13, 15, 17, and 19, was raped, was violated by family and friends, people she trusted, people she had to trust. Growing up in her home, parents couldn't look after her, or had difficulty looking after her, and therefore then sending her to family. So at the age of 5, this happens. Then being moved from one family to the next over the years is where the others later on, where the other rapes later on happens. And at the age of 19 was the last time. But this, of course, lent itself to her leaving home and meeting someone and later on getting married. And needless to say, the result of that was divorce, children, and a lifetime of having to work through all of those traumas. Necessarily blaming herself for all that has happened to her. So she is busy for a number of years now, speaking to someone that is helping her to work through those traumas. But the thing that gets me is that this is men doing this. A child of 5, a child of 13, a child of 15, and a child of 17. This is men that abuse their powers that they have, and men have undue power given to us by society and how this world has been structured through religion and through all sorts of historical mechanisms that give men power. And many of us only know that when given power, we must abuse that power. And that is where I find the stories that I hear of, the conversations that I have with friends and with people that I come into contact with. I find that it is men that just, because they can, they abuse their power. I've said it before. Only men can stop abuse across the world. It is still economically viable for them. And until the economy of it dries up or is no longer viable or lucrative, only then will they decide that they are now going to stop GBV and F. Because it's just still too easy for us to, just for some, abuse a woman. So, families, communities, society at large, the world at large, we need to keep and hold men accountable. We need to keep leadership accountable within organizations where these things still happen. Men that currently stand in leadership and allow these things to happen, or don't act against other men that are using their titles and their undue privileges to abuse girls and women and men and children and kids. If there is leadership that is allowing that, they must be removed, because your silence means that you are complicit to all the violence that is happening. So my plea today, on this Thursday, and while we wear black and we bring awareness to the fight against all forms of violence, against all genders, my plea today is that we will raise our voices. We will raise our fists not to fight, but to raise our fists as we bring more awareness and say, not in our name. My plea today is, church, it is time that we raise our voices. That the Jesus that we follow was an activist, and he spoke out and he said, "He who has no sin, cast the first stone." But what he also said was, we need to stand up against those that want to perpetrate violence. He draw a line in the sand. Tot hier toe en nie verder nie. He spoke out against the empire. He spoke out against those that abuse, that use their positions to abuse. That's what my Jesus did, who was an activist, who was somebody that was empowering people to fight the systems. And our systems at present are still geared towards the abuse of women. We cannot allow that. It's Thursday. I look forward to seeing more people in black, seeing more people speak out, seeing more people bring awareness to us that want to bring a change. We cannot allow 40,000 women annually to be sexually assaulted and raped. We cannot. Have a blessed Thursday. Cheers.